Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unfiltered Vet Discussions. You are having Kelly and Beth and Jenny today with the Royal Wave. If you're watching us on YouTube, there we go. So, we were doing what us ladies do. Oh, by the way, like, share, follow. Please like us. Please follow. We'd like to see those numbers go up. We know you're listening because we're seeing those numbers, but we'd like you to also make the other numbers go up. So if you can just take a moment and like and follow
Please
us.
like us. We're very
Communicate
likable.
with us and tell us why you like us and what you want.
Yeah.
No give and take here.
We'd love that dialogue. Yes. So you may like today's conversation because we started talking about like you do when you get together with friends, right? Like you get together with friends and you're like, hey, how's the last week gone? What's life? And, as us ladies, have been together because when we started, us ladies didn't know each other. So I'm just putting that out there. So as you get together and you spend more time together, you share more about your lives and you bond more and you collect more, and then the friendships become deeper. And so when you get online, it's really truly like, hey, how are you? How have the week been? And then we're like, oh, I got a story to tell you.
Mm.
And so I'm the one who started that today. I'm like, I've got a story to tell you. And then we decided maybe everybody wants to hear some of these out of controlled ass stories that, and how do you deal with them like in the hospital in real life, right? Because we all know you have stories too. You cannot work or own a veterinary hospital without a story. It's not possible.
Without many
Many stories.
stories. Some are appropriate, some are not.
Right.
Depends on
Exactly.
your appropriateness scale, I guess.
Well, veterinary, I feel like the veterinary scale is like it's a much wider range, but the
Yeah.
general public, we need to narrow it down sometimes, like in, social situations, and
Yeah.
maybe remember that, oh, that's not appropriate for everybody,
Yeah.
but it makes for funny stories.
Makes for great
It
stories,
sure
right?
does.
And this
Sure
is
does.
mostly a veterinary audience, we assume. So, since we were talking about liking and sharing, we'd like you to share some of your stories too. Like, come hit the comments and share. We'd love to hear about that, right?
If we got some good ones, maybe we could read them then.
Ooh, yeah, we
Ooh,
could
I
keep
like
it
that.
anonymous. Like,
15 seconds of fame, people. Give us some information. Let us know if
Yes.
we can
Tell
mention
us your
who you are.
craziest in-clinic story, and we'll tell a few to give context to it, and then people can share their crazy clinic stories.
right?
Absolutely. Could be about clients, could be about patients, could be about just situations, team members, like wild. We want the wild stuff.
And
Yeah.
we'll sanitize it. We don't have to use your name. We don't have to use your hospital unless you want us to, right? We can make up some sort of something like Wildflower Veterinary Hospital in the Great Northeast, and nobody will know. So anyway, I'll start my story and then we'll move into the veterinarian. So I was talking about, I have two dogs, and you want sleeping dogs when you're recording podcasts. It really makes it so much easier to record a podcast if you just don't have the paw on the leg or the door or the mournful expression. If you're a dog owner, you know the gamut, right? So I'm like, I'm going to pre-game this and get them tired out. So we went for a walk. And on the walk, I'm turning a corner and I have a specific dog walk because I know where all the dogs are, and because my dog does not play well with others. So I'm coming around the corner. The first thing I see is a baby crawling down a driveway with no parent. And I'm like, look at that tiger go. And he's coming out of the garage. So somehow he had to get in the garage down the driveway, right?
I
And
feel
then
like he
I
slipped his leash, right? Like,
right. And then
Taped
while
his
he's just
enclosure.
rocking the best to his ability, I'm thinking, wow. And then you're trying to think, what do I do with this information? I see his sister on one of those remote cars trying to get it out of the garage, right? And I'm like, this is up in the ante here. And then I see the black lab come trucking out of the garage without a leash, just streaming because of course it's a lab. It's like friends, new friends. I want to see friends. My dog does not do friends. Friends are not a good idea for my dog. So I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, NO, because that usually stops most dogs off leashes. Because if they're trained, they're like, wait, I know that word. Then the mother comes screaming out, screaming, I'm so sorry, and getting the dog back in. And I'm like, that's okay. And the baby's almost to the street. I'm like,
Better get that baby.
And the toddler's about to be in a car. So
yeah,
She's got a lot going on. That lady has a
like the
lot
wheels were
going
off the
on.
bus for her, right? And I'm like, I think I'm just gonna move right along. Like, good day. Hope you.
hope you enjoy your wine with lunch
I
or
don't want to
breakfast.
be I don't want to be in your shit show. I'm moving on.
I'm moving on. Yep. And she probably needs a whole bottle at that point, you know?
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, we were
insane.
talking about Kelly has this out of control walking the block thing, and we had an out of control situation on Monday that somebody brought their dog in, big dog, no alerts on its account. So we always make alerts on, happy dog or, does well with parents, does well without parents, likes the cheese mat, likes the chicken pot pie treats. Like we try and make very specific alerts. So this dog had no alerts. We hadn't really seen it that much. My technician walks up to him. Immediately he starts to growl. The owner has him on a flexi lead, which is at least
Of
locked. Like we try and
course.
make sure that they're locked, which is something.
I hate those things.
I
You too.
hate them. And we're talking about making a protocol like you come in with a flexi lead, here's a slip leash, we'll
Hey,
give
we
you
do
a second.
that. We do
Do you?
that at my
How much
hospital.
how much like pushback do you get?
Not too bad because we're not like confrontational about it. Like on our door, so not to go off on a tangent here for a second.
No, we're going off on a
We
tangent.
have like a vestibule to come into my practice. So before they go through the second door, there's a big sign that says, we do not allow flexi leads in our hospital for safety reasons. And then there's hanging slip leashes that's like, please switch out your leash for one of these if your dog is on a flexi leash. So some people just switch it out without us even having to say anything. But if they come into the waiting room and they still have the flexi leash on, we just have a couple of hooks throughout the waiting room with additional leashes. So what one of my staff members will do is just grab a leash and go up to them and say, "Hey, just because you have a little less control with the flexi leash, I'm gonna just put this leash on instead. Do you mind just using this leash instead of yours while you're in the building? Thanks so much." So we try to make it not like we hate your leash and you're an idiot. Like we try to be like sort of kind and non-confrontational about it, but we
You
also don't really give an option. We're like, here's this leash.
Did you have like a sign made? And like, does
I
it
just
have?
ma- I just made it and
Okay.
then I can take a picture of it for you. I just
Yeah.
made it and like put it in a little frame and then put like a thing of hooks
Okay.
below it. And I think when we first did it, like I did put something out on social media that was just sort of like a gentle public service announcement. And then we also sent it to like our client list that was like, hey guys, like, I forget exactly what it said, but it wasn't like, again, not really confrontational, but being like, hey, just to keep everyone easy or safe in hospital. And to make it easy for you, we will provide leashes for you, but we'd prefer you not use your flex lead in the office because we've had a few incidents where dogs have gotten really close, and we just want to make sure
Right.
everybody's safe, something like that.
That's good. So,
Yeah.
well, I will say after this little incident, we'll probably be implementing that because not only
Yeah.
was the dog on a flexi, but the dog was also on a collar that was like hanging off, like not actually tight up against his neck in any way, shape, or form. So the dog growls. The guy says my dog needs a muzzle. We go and get a muzzle. He can't put it on because he's scared. So we get the muzzle on. We start to take the dog out back. It's just there for rabies vaccine, like pretty quick in and out should be. We get it through our doors to our treatment area because clearly the dog is protective of dad. So we're like, okay, we're going to move to a quieter area, and we don't even get the door closed. The dog slips its leash or slips its collar off, runs out front, freaks out, runs through the hospital. And I mean, we've all had situations like loose cats, they do this,
Sure.
right? Leaving in its trail urine, anal glands, and poop. like through the hospital into our laundry room. He finds this bed of towels that he hides under while pooping and peeing everywhere. We have to get the guy to come back and get his dog because we got a regular slip lead on, but we
Yeah.
still couldn't get like this dog was so
Yeah, he's like
upset.
panicked. He's like panicked.
Absolutely panic. And once they're
Yeah.
like that, like you can't do
Yeah.
anything. And if you're in a hospital where you're still jumping on dogs to get stuff done, please stop. It's so stressful for everybody.
Yes.
Like since we started our low stress handling and more of our fear-free stuff, our bites have gone way down. Our
Yep.
patients are a lot happier. And if our clients don't like it, like then you can go someplace else.
Yep.
And but yeah, so anyways, the guy comes back, gets the dog, and we're like, okay, this isn't happening today. We're gonna send you home with Gabatraz. Like we're sorry. And he was like, I just don't understand. They don't understand. They never understand.
No,
And we're like,
they don't.
clearly, this is not a safe place for this dog. So we're going to try some different things next time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fun. And I'm sure, Beth, you see it all the time.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say when we were like, we should be recording this was when I was like gonna respond to that story with what I feel like happens all the time in my practice too, because we lean heavily into the use of we call them pre-visit comfort meds.
Mhm.
And then we do also like low stress handling and lean into fear-free type handling strategies because I just think it's a better experience for everyone if you
Absolutely.
take that into account when you're handling your patients. And so we have like line items and stuff, and we have a behavior counselor. So, like, if someone comes in and they're fearful, we will put alerts in as well. We will talk through what's the best way to handle them. She will reach out with resources to make the next time better when it didn't go well, like all these things. And there was like a dog last week who has all these like clear notes that he like I forget what he was like a shepherd mix or something and the very clear notes that like this dog panics. So we had done all the things and did previous comfort meds and blah blah blah, and then that next time he came in for a nail trim it went amazing and he did great and it was wonderful. And then guess what happened last week when he came in again for
Let me just
another
take a
nail
guess.
trim?
He forgot to give the meds.
Yeah, he was like, well, he did so great last time. I didn't think he needed them.
Why do you think he did so great?
And I will tell you what, I am a kind and patient person, but in those situations, sometimes I just want to punch people in the face. Like, why do you think he did better? Because we gave the medicine, you schmucko. Like, come
Right.
on.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, I said, I want you to think about it this way, because we call them chill pills or, I can't remember. We have another name for them, but I'm like, think about it this way. When you're drunk, you feel fearless.
Yeah,
You are calm, you're cool, and you're collected. And that's how we want your animal to be. We
yeah,
want them to be drunk and feeling strong. But what we don't want is for them to sober up when mom and dad come home because you just got caught drinking when you weren't supposed to. So that's why you have to give them each and every time so
yeah,
that when they come in, they don't sober up. We want
yeah.
them drunk. And they're like, it makes them so sleepy. I'm like, great.
Yes,
Yes.
Let them sleep it
yes,
off, and that's totally fine. But the whole point is we don't want them so afraid to come in, and then there be a hospitalization situation, and we can't even get near them
yeah,
because they're so terrified of being here. So we
yeah,
want your dog to feel the fearless drunk feeling. And
yeah,
I say that to people, and my technicians are like, I can't, Jenni, I can't say that to people. I'm like, but you can
yeah. You
Yeah.
because
can.
they don't get
Well,
it. But
well, because I feel like sometimes if you're not like if you don't put it in terms that are like easy for people to understand, then they don't see the value in it, and then they don't do it, and then the next time is worse, and then the next time is worse, and then it gets to the point where you can't even freaking look at the dog without it like pooping its pants. Like it's just not a good
no,
scenario. We actually made for our social media, and I posted it like probably like a month ago. I had my staff act out fearful animals. It was like a plug for use of pre-visit comfort meds. So I did like a series of 4 clips that was like them, it was just humans in it, but it was them acting like a pet that was like being admitted that was fearful. So like the first one is the one who was just like screaming. We called it like the screamer. So she's just like running around the room screaming while the other people are like trying to gently like get her. And then the next one was like the hider. So it was the one that's like under the chair. So she's like under the chair and she just keeps moving around under the the chair. And then we had the one that's like clinging to mom. So like she was like wrapped around his leg and he's trying to walk out of the door with the dog on his leg. And anyway, so the very last one was with pre-visit comfort meds. And I was like, act like you are drunk. And she did. And she did a great job. And she was literally in the video like, I feel really good right now. And normally I'd be kind of freaking out, but you seem pretty cool. I think I'll go with you today. And then like calmly walk out. And I was like, this is why you should use pre-visit comfort meds. Now, does it work? Did that marketing work? Obviously not for my Shepherd Mix friend last week, but I'm hopeful that maybe for others it will help make a difference for people to see the why.
Well, and I think that's the problem, right? Is people come in and they're like, well, the last vet wanted me to drug my animal. And that's what they hear is they're
Mhm.
blaming them, they're blaming their animal and they want to drug them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what this is about. This is
Yeah.
about keeping your pet safe, keeping our team safe, and just making it a better experience. And
Yeah.
it's always toenail trims. And they're like, what do you mean you didn't trim the toenails? And it's like, look, your dog is literally pooping itself. Like,
Right.
I want you to imagine being so terrified that you shit your pants.
Right.
Do you
Not
want your
great.
animal to have that experience?
Not great.
Not
And
good.
then the next time, like imagine, okay, so just imagine you went to your doctor and you had a panic attack and you shit your pants in front of that person. Okay. How would you feel the next time
Oh, there
you
wouldn't be a
go to
next
that
time.
doctor?
There wouldn't be a next time.
Right.
Right.
No,
Right.
that would be a like, no.
Right. There would be no next time because I'm dead, because I would literally die
I
from
just shit my
having that
pants.
happen to me.
Yes.
That's what we should call this. Oops, I shit my pants.
Oops, I shit my pants.
I will put that in the title because it's pretty good though, but it's true, and
Ugh,
oh,
And it
crazy.
does. And those situations lead to a chaotic day, right? And the problem is,
Yeah.
what I have found is if you're first, in your first hour, you have one of those patients, every other patient for the rest of the day is like so amped up that
Mhm.
it's like, why are we seeing so many animals that need muzzles? Why is this normally great dog like, crazy? And it's like, because the pheromones, right? They can smell it and you can do everything you want. But once you have them amped up, it's like the whole day is
Yeah.
craziness. I just wish we could give our patients chill pills
there's
sometimes.
some sort of spray as they walk through the door,
Well,
wouldn't
there
that
are,
be it?
yeah,
I mean, I know there's pheromones and things for cats, and I've heard it doesn't work for all cats, but I mean, just even for the humans that come in, because I'm sure there's
Yeah.
story.
mace. Are you talking about
Yes.
mace for spray, bear spray? Like, is that what we're?
I don't, I think she means maybe slightly less abrasive spray.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. More calming. More like, can you put the humans in a nice place when they come in, right?
Yeah, that would
Because
be
Here's
nice.
sometimes,
your lavender neck wrap for your
Yes.
appointment. Here's a nice chamomile tea.
Yeah.
Let's head on in here.
Or
yes.
a shot of vodka,
I
sort of
mean, either
depending upon
works.
your preference.
You could choose,
I
right?
did I did think when we did our addition, so we went from like 1,000 square feet, it was a very small practice, to like 13,000 square feet. And when we did this, I sent out a questionnaire to all of my clients. And I said, what do you want? Like what do you like? What don't you like? Obviously they were like more parking, but a lot of people said like a comfort room where they can spend the amount of time. And so we built that. Some people said like a kids playroom so that when we're having those difficult decisions, the kids can play in that. So we built that, which is great. I had an artist for a technician and she hand painted this farm scene on the inside of this kid's
Oh,
playroom.
that's
Oh my God, it's the
awesome.
cutest thing ever. But then we got the snarky comments that were like a lazy boy massage chair,
Mm.
and a bar. And I thought, there's something to the bar idea.
Right.
Oh, we're giving you bad news. Is this a one shot, a two shot, or a three shot? Like, here's your bill. Here's your shot right beforehand. Or, like, could we come up with something, I'm not going to lie, because we do emergencies. I have drank with clients before we had the reversal drugs to wake up after porcupine quills. We had this, what was his name? Trey. Trey was a Rottweiler, and Trey was a repeat offender for porcupine quills. We
Oh,
actually have a quill punch card, like you buy six and you get your seventh for free.
oh my God.
Because
That's a repeat offender right there.
listen, we live in the like New Hampshire is woods. That's what we
I
I
get
took a
it.
picture of a porcupine in my backyard the other day. I mean, they're just
Right.
everywhere. And so Trey was a repeat offender. And his mom, because they were in so much and we became very good friends with her and her husband. And I mean, like good friends, like to the point where we go out for breakfast on our days off. And she one time was in on Christmas Eve with an emergency and she helped us put together like toys for our kids
Oh,
until like 12:30 in the morning. Now she doesn't have kids, so now every Christmas Eve she comes and helps us like she makes pretty bows for the it's
oh,
so fun.
that's so nice.
Anyways, so Trey's in, we're trying to wake him up. He's a Rottweiler, so it takes him 3 hours to wake up. And she goes, I got some Crown Royal in my car. She goes out, she gets the Crown Royal, and what else did she have? It was like sour apple liquor, and we made it's called Washington apples.
Mm.
I'm not kidding you. I drank more than she did because she had to drive home. But like our cleaners came in the next day and there was an empty bottle of Crown Royal with two glasses next to it. And I'm like, I mean, I would be mad if another team member did it, but it's also my house. So I'm like,
It's okay.
this is like what happens when you own your own business sometimes.
It's fine. So I have a drinking with a client story that's good. It's a little bit sad, but it's also really sweet. So, there is this client that I have also since come to know somewhat personally, and I go to this like wine dinner every other month, and they go. It's like a group of people who are like way older than Tom and I, and we like love it. It's such a fun scenario, but they're one of the couples that goes, and they had this old lab named Enzo who was like not doing well, and he got to the point where we were going to put him to sleep, and they asked me to come and do a house call euthanasia. And when we got there, it was like in the winter a couple years ago, so it was actually myself and Kira. And so we get there and they have like Over the Rainbow playing music. They have like a roaring fire in their wood burning stove in this like really cozy room. And he's like on this like big blanket on the floor, like super comfy. She had just made him pancakes because they're like his favorite meal. So they like just like the whole thing was just like really magical for like being a really, really sad moment. Like they were like, they're so nice. They're like the nicest clients. So they're like doting over him. He's eating the pancakes. We sedate him. He passes very peacefully. And then she's like, because she knows me, she's like, I know you like Prosecco. So I actually chilled a bottle of Prosecco and I was hoping that you guys would be willing to do a toast to Enzo with us. And it was like, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we're gonna do a toast to Enzo right now. Now,
Right.
who would say no in that scenario?
Right.
So
No.
she like brings out this bottle of champagne. She pours us all a toast. We like do a toast to Enzo before, we like took him back to the hospital. But it was like one of those situations where, and then she's like refilling my Prosecco, and I'm like, we really like Kira's like, I'm driving, so I had like almost like 2.5 glasses. So I like get back and I'm like, ever so slightly
Like, I
inebriated.
really
Just
shouldn't
a
be making
little.
any decisions right now.
Yes. I was like, do I have any like major appointments here this afternoon? Because but yeah, it was one of those times that I was like, I'm not gonna say no because that's just a part of this experience with this family, but like such a cool, sad, but really, really neat way to like send Enzo off in like a very sweet way.
Enzo.
I know.
Simon had he has a client who gives him moonshine every time he goes out. No,
Nice.
my husband doesn't drink. Like he just doesn't drink. But he every time he comes home with this jar of what looks to me like because it's usually like apple cider moonshine or something,
Mhm.
so it looks like urine. And I'm going, honey, what is this? And he's like, oh, I had to go out and see, such and such, and it's our moonshine. And I'm like, we never even drink this. Like we have so many jars of moonshine. Can we just stop? Do you have a lot of clients give you alcohol? Like,
Sometimes I've gotten like wine and moonshine. I have a client that every time I see them, they give me honey.
oh,
They have their own bees, so they'll give
that's
me
good.
like a jar of their honey, which is cool. And we have a lot of clients that like to bake for us. Like
Oh
people will
yeah.
bring in food and baked
Yeah.
goods. But yeah, some wine, some moonshine. So, random things.
Moonshine I saw now is legal or something like it, home distilleries.
Oh,
In the
nice.
United
After
States?
135 to 150 years, it was just on a news feed. They're like, yeah, so now it's legal. And I'm like, oh, so now I have to look that up even more. Not that I'm brewing any in the
I
backyard,
was like, are
but
you putting in a distillery?
no, 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 no
You can move
distillery.
that operation out of your tub now.
Right,
Nice.
exactly.
She
Yeah.
calls it gardening. We know. We
Right,
know.
right, right.
Kelly's over there. Kelly's over there making her own moonshine.
Yeah, no, the neighbors wouldn't care. But yeah, no. It'd be like, when's the party? And I'm like, well, I told you, ladies, I see a lot of strange stuff on the street. I mean, my office looks right out the window, and I have seen things that you can't make up go down the street, And I'm like, my mouth's open and like, I can't believe I just witnessed that. So yeah, you never know
They
around
won't be
here.
surprised by your moonshine. I have a really good employee story.
Ooh, go.
Okay.
Okay. So there's like a small chance he might listen to this. He does not work for me anymore, though, so I'm just not going to use his name, and it just is what it is. So a couple years ago, we decided that for Christmas, I forget if it was for Christmas or just random, but we wanted to gift every employee $50 to spend on something on themselves from Amazon.
Oh.
And the only stipulation was, we did it at a staff meeting and then we just like excused them from the staff meeting. We're like, we're not really having a meeting today. We want you all to take the next like 30 minutes to look for something for yourself. And the rules are it has to be something for you. It cannot be for your spouse. It cannot be for your kids. Like it has to be something for yourself. Okay. So then they were like sending in links to the things that they wanted to buy. And
I was
this,
like, so did they have to show you what it was? Because I
so
can
they,
imagine in my team that would be, I don't want to know.
Yeah. So that's where this goes. Okay, so they had to send the links because then we were going to purchase it for them and then have it come to the hospital and then they would pick it up. So without even saying anything, this one male nurse that used to work for me puts in as his a pair of fake breasts, like one of the like strap on breasts. Okay. So he didn't say anything about it. We like kind of knew that maybe he was into cross-dressing a little, but like not, that's not something he was like coming up and talking to like myself and Kira about. Like we had just sort of like heard rumorings. So then we were like had this like emergency meeting where we're like, what do we do here? Because it's not exactly an appropriate gift, but we didn't specifically say that it couldn't be something like that. And like, I really don't care what you do in your own time. So I certainly don't want to deny it and then have you feel like we're discriminating against you just because you wanted to buy yourself a pair of breasts. Oh God. All I could think about was in the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights, where they dress up as women. And he's like, hey, Blinken, fix your boobs.
And it's like this,
Yeah,
like one is
you
like,
look like a bleeding Picasso. And he's like, oh, and he's like punching
did
it.
you buy them?
What?
Did you buy the breasts?
Yes,
Yeah.
I bought the breasts because I was not going to discriminate. We like hemmed and hawed and eventually was like, you know what? I feel like we just got to do it. We just got to buy him his boobs. So
Yeah.
we did.
Maybe that's something that he really wanted and hadn't been able to like pull
And
the
it was
trigger, didn't want
personal.
it sent home because didn't want anybody to know or
Yeah,
whatever. So
It was personal.
yeah, you did a good
He
thing.
hit the personal box pretty
he
hard.
did. He
Yeah,
did.
it could have
That
been worse, Beth.
Could have been worse.
it
Yes.
could have been.
I've had a few things go through my mind that I'm not going to share here that could have been worse. You can just use your imagination. But
Oh, I'll say it. My girls 100% would put a sex toy in there and just to screw with me. And then I'd be
Yeah.
like, guys, come on. I have lines that I will not go to strip clubs with my team members because I've been invited on multiple occasions to female strip clubs. And I'm like, okay, no. And I won't go to sex toy parties, which I also have been invited to. And I'm like, guys, you know my husband. Like,
Yeah, it's
they're
weird.
like, it's all private, Jenni. No one will know. And I'm like, I'm not. No, I'm not. I can't. No, I can't. I'm
Well,
glad
it's
he has
just
no
it's just
boundaries.
hard to be like because we've all been to those. I've been to like one sex toy party, and then I was
One.
like, one's probably good.
Yep,
And
I don't need to
they
do
like
another one.
pass them around. I just can't imagine like standing there while they're like talking about the attributes of the thing in your hand with like
Right.
one of my nurses sitting next to me, like,
Right.
that's a nice one. Like, no.
And they get
Mm-mm.
mad at me. They're like, Jenni, what is the big deal? And I'm like, you guys, like, there are just lines. Can we? I
Yeah.
know we don't have a lot of boundaries. I am well aware of that. I know that we are like there for each other on everything, but I just no, I can't. I said, for example, what if we went to a strip club and, one of the people there was like, oh, hey, Jenni, are you here for your set? How would you feel then? And they're like, do you strip? And I'm like, no, but what if I did? I said, there are boundaries. Like, we just shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, no. And I
No.
don't, by the way, for my extra pay period. But it's so funny because team members just really, you know what, though, too, Beth? That shows how safe he felt with you.
Yes. He
Yeah.
did feel safe, and I did appreciate that he was comfortable enough to ask for that. But we were
And who
very
knew you could buy those on Amazon?
I know, for less than $50.
I feel like I almost want to like start looking up and being like, can I upgrade? Like, how does that? I just like how this whole conversation went from like out of a baby, a baby in a driveway to out of control dogs to out of control team members.
Yeah. Well, because it runs the gamut, life runs the
It
It
gamut.
does.
does. And a lot of this you can't make up. Like
No.
starting my walk today, I would have told you $20 that I would have said, I will not see a random baby, crawling its little heart out, followed by the toddler and the dog. That was not even on the mental radar today,
Mm.
right? And so you can't make these stories like up, like, or
Oh,
the story yesterday with the dog, just, demolishing the hospital within 2 minutes. Like,
I have a client one.
Ooh.
okay.
And I feel comfortable stating this because this woman, God bless her, she's no longer with us. She was probably in her 80s when she used to come in. And she was always like inappropriate with any attractive male that she felt was there. So, like, one time we had a sales rep come in and he's, okay. And this woman was like, hello. I'm like, so what are you here for? Are you here for a job? Jenni, you need to hire this man. I said, stop right now. You can just stop. So anyway, she would do this and we had another client come in and it's a client who he's also relatively attractive. And she's sitting in the lobby and this man walks in and she was like, oh, hello. And she's just very bluntly, you are so handsome, and looking him up and down and all this kind of stuff. So then he leaves and she won't stop talking about him, wants to know, and she's married. I mean, it's not like she's not, but she was just like, that man, is anyone else warm in here? Woo, I am warm. And she's so loud. Everybody in the lobby can hear. The CSRs are dying. I had to call his wife. And I'm like, just so you know, I think that your husband came in and gave this woman like a hot flash. Like, I don't, she didn't know how to handle it. So then another time she's in the room with Simon and she's talking about a surgery that she had on her private area.
Oh
And
God.
he's like, his back is to her. And he's like, Jenni, I couldn't even turn around and look at her. Like I couldn't. And she's like, oh my gosh, this surgery left me so I felt like I'd been rode hard for days. And
Oh my
Simon is just
God. No.
more and her husband is just sitting there quietly, not saying a word.
Oh my God, her
Trying to
husband was there? That makes it so much worse.
so bad. And then she goes on and she goes, she deteriorates into talking about sex. And then she says something about, but I don't have to worry about that because my husband, he's still hung like a horse, not like all those other men who lose 1 to 2 inches when they get older. And then Simon
Oh.
turns around and he's like, what did you just say?
Oh my God.
I'm like,
Oh.
why did you engage?
Stop, just stop.
It was awful. Like she just had like no filter and she killed me every time. And her daughter also was a client of ours and she would come in and be like, I heard mom was in. And I'm like, it's Because she, I think, had reached that age where she was like, fuck it.
She
I
don't
don't
she don't
care.
yeah. She don't give an F.
She don't
She's
give
just
anything. So,
zero
anyways,
F's given.
yeah, that was since we've deteriorated even further, I thought I could.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that would really be an interesting day at the veterinary
Oh,
hospital, right? And the husband's probably heard it more than once, and he's
oh
just
yeah,
checked out to La La Land. He's
he
just
was.
like, he's in his happy place, and he's like, she's speaking. I don't hear anything, right? Like he just is like totally disassociated from
He
all of
was.
that.
He was, and he always was like that. He just came in and he was like just along for the ride, and this cute little old man, and he'd just sit there and as happy as can be. And she always asked for Simon, and Simon was like he'd have to prep himself because you never knew what story you were gonna get before he walked in the room. He's like, okay, keep a straight face, don't engage, take care. He'd be like, so let's come back to the animal. Like, let's come back to your dog.
Oh
I love it.
God.
I
You
love
do hear some wild shit from clients. They
you.
unload sometimes some very deeply personal things that I'm
Mhm.
like, I wish I didn't know that.
And
You
they feel
can't take
so
it back.
comfortable.
You can't take it back when you hear some things like that, right?
No.
Where you're just like, you want the Harry Potter rewind spell where
Yeah.
like you just wave the one and it goes back 10
Like,
seconds and you're just like, no.
And then you can run away.
And then you can run away.
have a nice
But
day.
Bye.
No, and they feel so comfortable. And again,
Yeah.
I try to tell my team when they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jenni," and I'm like, "We are a safe place."
Yeah.
Like we are. I have had clients call when they're having literal mental breakdowns. Like one, I love her very much. She's been with us for a long time. She has some like is it bipolar or schizophrenic, something big. And they were trying her on new meds and it was messing with her. And she called the vet in the middle of the night because we're on call like multiple times. And she kept saying, I need to talk to Jenni. I need to talk to Jenni. So when I came in the morning, I called her and I'm like, hey, you okay? And like 10 minutes later, I hung up the phone. I called our police and I was like, listen, I just need I'm very concerned. Like I need a welfare check. So after she got all her meds squared away, she had called me a couple more times, but she called and apologized. And she said, am I still welcome there? I'm like, yes, of course you are. I said, and I'm glad that you at least felt comfortable enough. I said, I'm sorry, that I called the police, but I was concerned about you. She's like, no, 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 I understand. But I made me actually feel kind of good that I'm like, these people feel so safe
Mm,
and that they can share those things, that they are 100% authentic when they come in. And it's kind of beautiful. I mean, it's awkward for us sometimes, but
yeah.
it's also kind of beautiful that they can just be
but
who they
think
are.
about it, ladies, because we're all ladies in the room, about who we trust, right? I've said this before when I've talked to our clients about their own marketing and consistency with marketing. Who do we bond with? We bond with our veterinarian because it takes care of our fur buddies. If you have children, you tend to bond with the pediatrician or somebody, the care provider of your child, if that's family or whoever that person is, right? Your gynecologist,
Good
because
time.
good times, but it's a trust issue too, right?
Yeah.
You're a mechanic because you just don't know if they're screwing you over or not. So if you find a good one, you tend to hold on to it. And your hairstylist, like those are the people that you will drive. Like you drove over an hour away to the lash person, right?
Oh, every 2 weeks, baby.
Because you
Every 2 weeks.
trust her. You trust
Yeah.
her, you know her. So when we have those bonds with those providers, veterinarians are in that top handful as a female that we are like, we bond, we trust, and we'll go the distance to go see that person. Like I drive 35, 40 minutes one way to see my veterinarian. Why? Because I trust them and they know how to handle my dogs. In fact, they know how to handle me. And I'm not like an easy handle sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm a heavy lift and they manage me. And I'm like, okay, being managed. And so when we have these stories or these trust stories, it's really is a sacred honor that this profession can make it in the top inner circle of trusted providers.
Mhm. It's true. I'm sure, Beth, you probably have it too. People move out of your area, but they continue to like drive to come and see you.
Oh yeah. We have somebody who lives in, I want to say it's Chicago, and they have a cat, and their family still lives here, and we are still their primary veterinarian.
Mhm.
And they time visits home to their family so that they can bring the cat when the cat is due for things, and they bring the cat into us. I also have and it's one of my employees' sons, and he lives in Denver, Colorado, and we are still his dog's primary veterinarian.
Yeah.
And because he's a service dog, so he flies back and forth a lot,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
will just time their visits. But yeah, we have a ton of people that have moved,
Yeah.
an hour, 2 hours away, and they still drive to us. Those are the two most extreme examples, but we have like quite a few people who live like an hour to 2 hours away. And I just saw someone yesterday that's like, I moved to the Poconos, but I still trust you guys. There's no good vets up there, so I just drive down and make a day out of it. And I'm like, here's your rabies vaccine. Have a great day. Like that is such a commitment. Like
It
I
is.
really
You could have gone
appreciate
to
it,
Petco for this, but thank you.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's a trust thing. I mean, I think when people trust you, they're willing to be more vulnerable. And when they're more vulnerable, sometimes that's where really crazy or hilarious or touching things happen when people are willing to be vulnerable. But I think it is a profession that allows us to see all of those things because people
Yep.
trust us quite a bit.
Yeah,
So,
because
so
caring for a family member.
Yeah.
yeah, the point of this is when you're having the crazy days that you go, why the hell am I doing this? What just happened?
Yep.
Just remember that we're trusted
Yes.
You are trusted for
When the
by
better
our
dog
or
is
team.
worse.
smearing anal glands through the hospital, remember.
When you have to change your scrubs twice in one day, keep in mind you are trusted by most, maybe not the patients per se,
True.
but
True.
definitely
Yeah,
by the clients and your team, hopefully, because that's what makes it fun. It's the
it is.
stories like that make it fun,
The
that are just like,
variety.
yeah, like go back and read the James Harriet, and you're like, oh yeah, I have that client that
Yep.
had the same, like it's the same people over and over again, and you're
Yep.
like, yep,
Yep.
crazy stuff.
Every day is a new adventure in veterinary medicine, that is for sure.
But it's fun because who
It
would
is.
want to do the same thing every freaking day? Like, I love
No, and
that you never know what's going to happen.
yeah, same.
Sometimes for the best and sometimes not, but it does make it so you don't get bored at work.
Keeps
There is
life
that.
interesting.
There is that.
That's for
Yep.
sure.
So tell us your stories. We're going to wrap it up here today. Tell us whatever stories you want, whatever social media platforms your fave. And, you know, maybe you'll show up here. So we'd love to hear about it because, like we said in the beginning, we know there's stories, people. There's stories out there. There's no possible absolute way that you can run or work in a veterinary hospital without a story. It's not possible. It's just not. Mm-mm.
So
Yep.
all names and places will be protected for your for your safety.
Yes.
Yes,
And
we will
even,
change the names, but I think it would be fun to do one where we read some other people's stories.
Oh my gosh,
yes,
yeah.
it'll be story time,
Yep.
right? Be good.
Story time. And here's the crazy stuff.
Right. Here's
And
what
in
they don't tell you.
in a
Right.
completely judgment-free zone, right?
That's
Like we
right.
are
Right.
not judging at all because if it's happened to you, it's probably happened to us.
Yep.
Yep.
That is for sure.
So until next time, we'll wish you adieu. And I hope you had a moment of laughter with us today. We'll see you later.